so happy to have you here today. Thank you for always making time for us and making time to share the most powerful message that exists in this world. So thank you for being here. We're going to give you as much time as you'd like to share with us today. And then I know a lot of our people here have questions for you and how they can better themselves. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Travis, and for the team, and the family, and all our visitors. I just want to talk about something very special. I want everybody in the Yongevity family to become a super centenarian. A super centenarian is somebody who's 110 years of age and older. Okay, it's very simple, actually. We have the genetic capacity to do it, but it has to be a priority. If you're not paying attention to details, as they say in French, you ain't getting there. Okay, and so it's one of those things where you do have to pay attention, but it saves you a lot of time and money. And why not spend 25 to 50 more years with the people you love? That's the way I look at it. Well, let's look at a quick statistic here. Yesterday, the number of infections we had from the COVID in the United States was 33,476,781. Today, we're already at 33,519,192. We went up about 30,000 new infections. Now, it's one of those things where we had been going up 55, 65,000 infections. It's going to kind of buzz back and forth between 50,000 and 75,000 based on what's going on out there. Yesterday, we had 595,842 dead. This morning, we have 596,265 dead. So we went up a little bit less than 1,000 new dead. And we're still not out of the woods. We're still having these terrible statistics. Let's look at one more here. Let's go to India and look at India, say 2 weeks ago. India 2 weeks ago had, let's see here, 22,662,500 infections. And then 3 days ago, I should take that back. 2 weeks ago was 21,874,777 infections. 3 days ago was 22,662,500. This morning it was 22,992,000. It's going up at a rate of 350 to 500,000 a day in new infections. So by tomorrow there'll be well over 23 million infections. Dead, they're going up 3,400 a day. Right now, India, let's see here, India is at, 249,972 dead. Okay. And it's one of those things where this is not going to go away easily because there's too many people who are susceptible and there's too many people who are not doing what it takes to defend themselves. Well, to get to be a super centenarian, live to be 110, you have to take care of your body, give your body all the defenses it needs, to give all the raw materials to maintain and repair itself. This has got to be a conscious, proactive thing. You cannot get it just by eating well. Any doctor who says that should be put in jail as a mass murderer. You cannot get everything you need by eating well. Plants only need 3 minerals. All vertebrates require 90, okay? So we have to pay attention to those details. And so I want everybody to go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com. Get a hold of the book called Immortality. And there is a CD that goes along with it called Beyond Immortality. And the book and the CD go into the cultures who are the longest living peoples on earth and the things they consciously do to live a long, healthful life, the things they consciously do to avoid the bad stuff, okay? Then, of course, we have appropriate for the COVID thing here, the Hell's Kitchen, the book and the CD goes into the story of when these pandemics started and how they started. They started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882 on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, when Thomas Edison and Jonathan Leaves pulled the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant. And within 10 years' time, we had like 30, 40, 50 new diseases nobody's seen before. And it was the beginning of the darling in science called genetics. And so doctors are blaming all these new diseases on genetics. They're really just nutritional deficiencies, because when they went to electricity, which they've been using for thousands and thousands of years, they've been using wood for fuel. and putting the wood ashes in the garden. Wood ashes aren't carbon, wood ashes are minerals. They'd also put wood ashes into their food for tens of thousands of years. Well, when they went to electricity, guess what? 0 wood ashes. And everybody said, don't waste your money on vitamins, minerals, just eat well, you get everything you need. And that was the beginning of our bad time. Well, again, to make a long story short, I'll give you 2 examples here. One is the Philippines. The other one is Vietnam. Vietnam has 97 million people. The Philippines have 100 million. The Philippines have just crossed 1 million infections of COVID and 18,000 dead. Vietnam has 35 dead, not 3,500, not 35,000, it's 35 dead and 3,000 infections. So why do they only have 35 dead and the Philippines have 18,000 dead? Why is it they only have 3,000 infections and the Philippines have 1 million? Well, the Philippines, because of their location in the Pacific, every war from the First World War through the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Second World War and so forth, all that stuff, the Philippines were involved. We have Navy bases there, we have Air Force bases. When I was in the Air Force, I went there a lot in the Philippines. Okay, I went to Vietnam a lot when I was in the Air Force. And so the recreational stuff in the Philippines, the hotels, the restaurants, they're freestanding restaurants, cater to the military personnel. They're feeding them European and North American diets, wheat, barley, rye, and oats. They're eating gluten, okay? And so their intestines are, and they don't eat seaweed like the Vietnamese who have stayed Asian and they live on rice and sweet potatoes, beans, squash, and seaweed. They're getting all that weird trace minerals from the ocean through the seaweed and algae, which then feeds their bone marrow, their defenses. And that's why you have 2 very similar cultures, but the Vietnamese stayed pure Asian. And of course, the Filipinos were seriously impacted by the Spanish, the French, the English and Americans, and the French and the Germans and so forth. And so that's why you see the huge difference in mortality and infection rate between those 2 countries. It's not a racial thing. It is a cultural and dietary thing. I have to tell you one more. Do I have time for one more? Go for it. Okay. I have time for one more. And that is, I'm going to share with you Brazil and Nigeria. They both have about 208 million people. Nigeria is 98% Black tribal Africans. Brazil is 47% Europeans who migrated there 300-400 years ago. They're 47% mulattoes, biracial, Black and white Europeans, and 9% Black. Nigeria, okay, has 2,000 dead from the COVID. Brazil is number 3 in the world at 331,000 dead. 331,000 versus 2,000. Nigeria has 163,000 infections. Brazil has 13 million infections. So it's a difference. Well, Nigeria, they're not eating like Black Africans. They live on the west coast of Africa and they live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweeds. They're eating like Asians. Okay. And then Brazil, because of all that European influence, they're eating like Europeans and they live on wheat, barley, rye, and oats. It's a dietary thing. It's not a racial thing. If it was a racial thing, everybody in Nigeria would be dead. They have the lowest death rate of any country in Africa because they're living like Asians. It is not a racial thing. It's a cultural dietary thing. So if everybody stays away from the bad stuff, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the glutens, wheat, barley, rye, oats, and sugar, get on the 90 essential nutrients. And I've been doing that for 73 years. I'm 82 years old. I've been avoiding gluten for 73 years. I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for 73 years. As a result, I don't have any pre-existing conditions. I'm certainly not obese. I only weigh 142 pounds. I don't have any arthritis. I don't have any, let me get rid of this here. I don't have any diabetes, high blood pressure. I don't have any thyroid issues. I don't have any lung issues. I don't have any heart issues. I'm not on dialysis. I don't have any arthritis. I don't have any celiac disease or any of that stuff. I don't have any of those things. They're usually people who are 82 years old. They'll have 6, 8, 10, 12, 20 of them. And they're in the doctor's offices all the time. And they're in a nursing home being treated by 18 different doctors and so on. And so everybody, if they follow the basic principles of avoiding the bad stuff, give your body the raw materials it needs, to maintain and repair itself, you will add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life and become a super centenarian. And again, I urge you to go to www.drjwallach.com and get a hold of the book Immortality, the CD Beyond Immortality, get a hold of the early warning, or not the early warning, get a hold of the red warning light CD by pharmacist Keith and myself, goes into 8 or 9 of these pre-existing conditions that set you up for a bad time with COVID. Don't forget Hell's Kitchen, the book and the CD. Don't forget the book and the CD, Epigenetics, and add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life. Become a super centenarian.
I think that's all what we want. That's why we're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. So my first question for you, Doc, is you always mention the 4 sisters in terms of what we need to be eating. And you always mention seaweed too. So what is it about seaweed that's so important?
Okay. Well, actually, it was the 3 sisters. Okay. And the original 3 sisters were maize, corn, beans, and squash. And this is what all the people in Africa and the Native Americans were eating, was the 3 sisters. And they didn't have any gluten. Okay, because they're eating corn and beans and squash. Well, here comes the Scottish in 1865, and they didn't want a shooting war with the Native Americans, so they began to give them wheat, butter, and oats and show them how to grow it and how to dry it, make bread, flat, deep fried bread and everything. And that began the Native Americans' trouble, because they gave up the 3 sisters and they went to wheat, butter, and oats like the Scottish did, and began to get all these terrible things. Now, there was another group of Native Americans, indigenous peoples, called the Ojibwe Indians, and they were in Florida, but here comes all these people from Europe shooting at them and killing them and giving them blankets with smallpox on it and killing them and so forth. So they fled west to get away from all those European invaders, as well as hurricanes and things. And they hit 400 years ago, they got to upper Minnesota. And they didn't have any money to buy land, so they lived on the shores of the lakes, and they lived on wild rice, algae, and wild game. Well, they've been eating the same way for 400 years. Now, the Navajos in Arizona, they have the worst record of all the Native Americans, okay, because they've been eating wheat, butter, and oats and not supplementing with anything since 1865. For 400 years, the Ojibwe Indians have been eating wild rice, algae, and wild game, okay, and fish from the Great Lakes. And they have, let's see here, the Ojibways have 0 dead, and 27 infections. The Navajos have 1,200 dead and 30,000 infections. It's just diet. Wild rice and seaweed and wild game and fish versus wheat, butter, and oats and deep fried flatbread. And that's the difference. They're both Native American peoples, they're both indigenous peoples. There's a huge difference between 0 dead and 1,200 dead. It's a huge difference between 27 infections and 30,000. It's all diet and culture, not race. Over to you.
Perfect. So I have one question from the online chat, and then we're going to open it up to everyone in here. So we have someone who says she's pregnant, 180 pounds with diabetes and high blood pressure. She takes the Tangy 2.5, but it gives her jitters and anxiety at night. What would you recommend?
Okay. Well, what I'd have her do is take her 90 essential nutrients at breakfast and lunch. Don't take it at night if it gives her the jitters at night. Okay. Take her 2 doses of supplements. And remember, she's got to take the supplements for the baby. If she's breastfeeding, she's got to take these supplements also. Okay. And so, it's one of those things where she needs 90 essential nutrients more than, a 90-year-old woman. Okay, because she's getting nutrition for 2. And I'm hoping she was taking the 90 essential nutrients for at least 6 months before she got pregnant. Then the odds of having a baby with a birth defect of any kind has been reduced to almost 0. Now, if she started taking supplements after she missed 2 periods and she runs to the pharmacy and gets a test strip and pees on it and she says she's pregnant, well, that baby has been 2 months without a supplement. Okay, and so the odds are it has something going on. And so I want everybody to appreciate, if you're in the childbearing years, even if you don't plan on getting pregnant, you better be taking the 90 essential nutrients and avoid the bad foods, because you don't want to miss 2 periods and not have been taking these 90 essential nutrients, because the baby will born. There's like 900 different birth defects you can get. They're all nutritional deficiencies. None of them are genetic. None of them are genetic. That's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute's National Treasure, because I showed with 20,000 autopsies, there were no genetically transmitted diseases, there are no genetically transmitted birth defects. And I'm the guy who got, because of all the court cases I have putting these nutrients into baby formulas, I'm the guy who got rid of cystic fibrosis. I'm the guy who got rid of muscular dystrophy. We gave Marvin Ropp and I, Navy SEAL, we gave Jerry Lewis about a dozen charts of kids who we had, I'll use the cure word, we'd cured their muscular dystrophy. They were born with muscular dystrophy. The oldest one was 31. We gave them our program and got rid of their muscular dystrophy in a couple of weeks to a couple of months. We gave a dozen of those charts to Jerry Lewis. He took them to the, it was a 2011. He took them to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis. That's why you didn't hear anything about him in the telethons anymore, because they fired Jerry Lewis because he brought them the cure. And then, of course, April 16th, 2013, federal judges ruled that one nutrient had to be put into baby formulas. And a year and a half later, September 13th, 2014, is that right? Yeah. September 13th, 2014, headlines in the Charlotte Observer, big newspaper in Charlotte, North Carolina. We don't know why, but son of a death syndrome has vanished in the state of North Carolina. Then 3 months later, the St. Louis Post dispatched all the newspapers in Missouri. We don't know why, but son of a death syndrome has vanished in the state of Missouri. And then 3 months later, every newspaper in the world ran an article saying, we don't know why, but the diagnoses of son of a death syndrome has dropped dramatically by 85 to 95%. And then about a week or two later, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, came out and said, we don't know why, but it used to be that kids that died of son of a death syndrome were 1 per 300 normal births in the United States. Now it's 1 per 3,000, and we don't know why. Well, that's because I forced them to put that nutrient into baby formulas. It was never the mothers laying on the babies. It was always a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart attack. And because of Dr. Milan's influence in China, I was able to go there with her and do 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 that died of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease called Keyshawn disease. 35% of those 1,700 had cystic fibrosis, 100% had muscular dystrophy, and 200 under the age of 1 year had, son of a death syndrome. So we published it in 3 languages. And guess what? They were forced to put that nutrient in the baby formulas, and we were able to essentially get rid of son of a death syndrome, muscular dystrophy, and also cystic fibrosis. I'm just blessed to be involved in that. How many people get to save millions of kids every year that way? So I'm very, very proud of that.
Such an incredible accomplishment by you and Dr. Milan, and even the ability for the FDA to finally recognize that after all.
We had to sue them in federal court. They didn't do it willingly.
That's right.
It had to be drug in, kicking and screaming.
Their hand was forced. So I'm going to open it up to the floor. I know there's quite a few people in here. I'm very excited for all the questions we're going to get today. Please unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and go ahead and ask Doc a question if you got it.
Doc, we're proud of you too.
Oh, thank you. Love you, dear. How can we help you today?
I would like to know the difference in the approach between helping people with prostate cancer versus benign prostatic hypertrophy. Particularly, I know you've mentioned we don't want to give them immortalium because it stimulates stem cells. Mm-hmm. And but on the other hand, Z-radical, which does stimulate stem cells, has a very good track record with cancer with apoptosis.
Yes. So, okay. Well, you've asked me 18 questions there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been waiting a long time.
Okay. Well, you have to appreciate that when you have cancer of any kind, you want to support. I like to use the word support the immune system, because your immune system is your best friend. Okay. And so you still need to take the 90 essential nutrients, because you have other organs in the body beside the prostate gland, which need to maintain and repair themselves, including the immune system. And you need to be able to absorb these nutrients. So the diet has to be very clean, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat bread, rhinos, no sugar. And then you want to give your immune system the things that the immune system needs to very specifically build defenses, okay, and be anti-inflammatory. And so that's essentially the difference. You don't want to be driving the growth of particular types of cells. And so I would stay away from ProstFX and stuff like that when somebody has prostate cancer. If they have hypertrophic an enlargement of the prostate, okay, that's a different story. But then that's the doctor's responsibility to make sure there's not cancer. Okay, in other words, or you have two buckets here. One is kerosene, the other one is water, and there's a fire. Do you just pick up the first bucket you run up to and throw it on the fire? Well, no, it might be the kerosene and make the fire worse. So you have to, smell it, maybe even taste it, make sure you're throwing the water on the fire and not the kerosene. Same way when you have a prostate gland, is it cancer or is it just enlargement? And of course, bones do that. When you have osteoporosis of the skull, your skull normally is a 1/4 of an inch thick when you have a healthy skull. But when you have osteoporosis of the skull, it gets an inch thick. Okay, because your bones, all your bones, when you have osteoporosis, whether it's your vertebrae or your long bones in your legs and arms, your pelvis, your shoulder blades, whatever, they try to call in minerals because the bones feel weak, and they do that by getting larger and saying, hey, we're here, we're fertile, we want you minerals to come and help us be stronger. And so that's why the bones get thicker when you have osteoporosis. Okay, well, the same thing is true with your immune system. Your immune system is screaming for help, but you want to make sure you're not going to be giving the cancer what it wants to grow. So that's why the difference, okay? So I hope that helps you out. Okay.
Much, thank you.
Next question. Okay, I can sing if you want me to.
Russell, can you unmute?
Yes.
Doc, I want to just real quick introduce you to Russell. He's a good friend of mine. He's on here this evening. He's been diagnosed with cancer, and most recently, he's had an additional diagnosis. And so he did listen to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie. This is his first introductory into 90 for Life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what type of cancer does he have?
It is metastatic melanoma.
Okay, or stage 2, you stage 4, where are you at?
Stage 3. Sorry.
Stage 3. Okay, so you're in trouble. Okay, because it's gone to other places, right? And so, okay, well, you want to help your immune system, and it's one of those things where when you get stage 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're in trouble because the cancer's gone to other places instead of housekeeping, and it doesn't take long for those distant growths of cancer begin to shed cancer, and they're putting out in the bloodstream and the lymph nodes and lymphatics and so on. So you need to get rid of all the bad foods, okay? And everybody in your household, dog, cat, bird, fish, spouse, renters, roommates, everybody's got to be drop dead free of the gluten. No wheat, bread, rye, and oats, no fried foods, no processed meats, no sugars, no oils of any kind, no oils of any kind. And when you're done with that, no oils of any kind, because they drive cancer. Salad dressings, fried foods, no, no, no. Okay. Then how much do you weigh?
155.
155. Okay. Do you have any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis?
No.
Okay. All right. So I would take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day, except for the selenium. I would get another bottle of our selenium, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. Not selenium from Walgreens. Our selenium has 5 cofactors in it, which you want. And so I want you to get another bottle of our selenium, so you can take 3 of those 3 times a day, 3 breakfast, 3 lunch, 3 dinners. One of the biggest supports of the immune system is our selenium with those 5 cofactors. Then I also want you to take our Cell Shield RTQ. I want you to take 3 of those 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles a month. They're going to support your immune system. I also want you to get our MSM, get 2 bottles of the MSM, so you can take 3 of those 3 times a day. They're going to support the immune system by helping you build and maintain your bone marrow, where you get your white blood cells growing, your stem cells to make antibodies against the cancer. I also want you to get our Fucoid Z. Take 3 of those 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles in the month of the capsules. Of the Fucoid Z. If you prefer the liquid, you can get 2 quarts a month of the liquid called Z Radical. Same product, but one's a liquid, one's a pill. The liquid, you could take an ounce twice a day, be 2 quarts a month. Either the liquid or the capsules are 8 to 9 different seaweeds and algae that have all these weird trace minerals in it that support your immune system, which is your best friend here. Okay. And then whatever else you do is up to you and your doctor. He or she's going to give you information, or are you going to take chemotherapy, or are you going to do radiation? Now that's up to you. I'm not going to give any advice there other than to support your immune system and reduce the inflammation. That's going to be your best friendship. Okay. And so keep us informed. We go to the doctor, they're going to do tests and everything, give you some information. When you get this information, get back to us so we know we're staying the same, getting better, getting worse, so we can tweak things based on what feedback you give us. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Doc. I made a recording, Russell.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, who's
Awesome.
next here?
In Florida. I would just like to know if someone is using a, oh shoot, what is the word that a blood thinner and using the EFAs, how would they handle that? It seems to be a little controversy there.
Okay, there shouldn't be any controversy. What they should do, they're going to go in on a regular basis to the doctor, and they get a clotting time, saying, your blood's too thin here. Well, they say, Doc, I want you to reduce my medication. Okay, I'm taking natural supplements to reduce the risk of blood clots, and so if my clotting time is getting more towards normal, okay, instead of getting longer and getting more towards normal, then you, the doctor, reduce my medication. Let the doctor reduce it. Okay, based on numbers.
Okay. All right. So it's okay for them to still use the.
Oh, absolutely. It's an essential nutrient. See, the EFAs are not only to reduce the risk of a blood clot, they're required by many functions of the cell walls of every cell in your body. Are you going to starve every cell wall in your body because a doctor wants to send his kid to college and he's giving you prescriptions of blood thinners so he can get paid by the pharmaceutical company?
Okay. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
Okay. Love you, dear. Okay.
Yes,
What's the question?
James, I had been on dialysis for nearly 5 years.
Okay,
And,
3 times, wait, 3 times a week or 6 times a week?
Three
Okay,
times.
so that means you're still urinating.
Yes.
Okay, do you have high blood pressure?
Huh? Yeah, you have blood pressure, yes.
Okay, do you have varicose veins or spider veins in your feet and legs?
No, my feet are numb from the what do you call it, the type 2 diabetes. So I get the numbness
from
in my
diabetes.
feet.
I don't believe you. You have a back problem?
Well, the kidney came on.
No. I'm asking about a back problem. Do you have peripheral neuropathies? Do you have a low back problem?
Low back problem, yes.
Okay, that's why you have stuff going on in your feet. It's not from your diabetes. Okay. Now you have white hair in your beard. You have white hair in your hair. You have you have stuff going on that's all due to a deficiency of a particular nutrient. None of that's due to age. Okay.
Okay.
How much do you weigh?
240.
And again, how old are you?
62.
62. Okay, so you weigh 142. You said
240.
240. Okay, 240. Okay, so get rid of all the.
62.
Okay, now I want you to listen very carefully here because I'm not going to go over it 6 times.
Yes, sir.
I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats of any kind, no oils of any kind, no gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats, no sugar. I want you to live like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweed and fish and all that kind of stuff. You can have red meat, you can have lamb chops, but they cannot be burnt fat and all that kind of stuff. Then at 242 pounds and your problems, I want you to have 3 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything 3 times a day. 3 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If money's a problem, don't go any lower than 2. Okay, but ideally, I'm going to give you the ideal here. You need 3 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got like 6 life-threatening situations here. Okay.
Doc, 1 second. I don't understand what you said. Healthy what?
Yeah. Okay. Stop. I told you that they're going to record this, and you'll have to go to the recording. Okay, because I'm not going to keep going over this.
I got it, James.
Yes, sir.
I have it.
Okay.
So you
Yes,
need to
sir.
be quiet and listen and get what you can get. Okay. And if you can't get it, you'll get it off the recording. So
I'm
I need to
shutting
shut up. Okay. You can mute him if you would, please, because he's a talker. I want him to take 3 healthy brain and heart packs a month, the full dose at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I want him to get 2 bottles of the MSM, so he can take 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone rakes upon itself, artery walls, walls of the veins, and so forth, walls of the intestines. I also want him to take vitamin D3, 3 of those with each meal. That's 3 bottles a month. So I can take 3 with each meal, so he can absorb minerals and put them in the bones. He needs the collagen. I want him to take 2 bottles a month of the glucogel capsules, so he can take 5 at breakfast, 5 at dinner time. I want him to take a 3rd dose of collagen in the middle of the day, either the collagen peptides or the pro-joint FX in the middle of the day. And then I want him also to take the Fucoid Z. He can take 3 of those with each meal, the capsules. If he prefers the liquid, he could take an ounce twice a day. That's 2 quarts a month. That's going to help his immune system. Now, here it comes. For the kidney dialysis, I take people that have not urinated in 10 years or on dialysis 6 days a week. He needs to take and add to all this big program. He needs to add the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 with each meal. That'll be 3 bottles a month. And they're going to support healthy blood pressure. They're going to support healthy blood flow through the blocked arteries in the kidneys. And the blood pressure is going to come down. The kidney function is going to improve. And so he goes in on a regular basis, and they will be reducing his dialysis. And like I say, in 2 weeks' time, people that haven't urinated in 10 years are urinating. So they drop the dialysis from 6 days a week to 3 days a week. Then 2 more weeks, after 25 years of being on dialysis, they're not in dialysis anymore. Because 99% of the time when you're on dialysis, there's nothing wrong with the kidney. It's an artery problem in the kidney, okay? And then because he has pre-diabetes or diabetes, I want him also to take 3 of our sweeties 3 times a day. And if he's on medication for diabetes, he needs to not cold turkey off his diabetic medication, but as his blood sugar begins to drop, he can reduce his medication based on the numbers. Now, he needs to call us every 2 weeks or get on a Zoom with us, Travis, every couple of weeks, because his story is going to save the lives of thousands of people. He's going to have a great testimony because this is very typical. Well, this is a racial thing. He's got all these genetic diseases. No, this fellow here needs to get a hold of the book Black Gene Lies and the CD Black Gene Lies. So, because this is none of this is genetic. This is all just simple nutritional deficiencies because he's been eating gluten all his life. And he needs to get off of gluten, big time, and get on the supplements, and all this will go away. His hair color will come back. Okay, he'll look 30 years younger. He'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to his life. But he's going to have to really pay attention to details, really do this. And his goal is to live long enough to go to his doctor's funeral. Okay, back to you, Travis.
I hope so. I hope I get to go to my doctor's funeral someday. That'd be fantastic. So I want to kind of keep this same topic rolling. So my friend Money is here. And if you're still available, would you mind unmuting? I know you have a couple of questions for Doc.
Hi.
Hi. Is your name really Money?
Yes, it is.
Like
I spoke.
Money Penny?
Yeah.
How can we help you, dear?
So I started the protocol that you had given me, I think over a month ago, and I'm having trouble taking the full dose of the supplements. I don't know if anyone else has had this problem. I don't know if it's digestion or because I'm on dialysis, but I'm burping up the supplements a lot, and it's hard for me to take the full dose. So I'm starting slow, but what kind of advice give me?
Okay, well, be comfortable, but again, you want to make sure that everybody in your family, the dog, the cat, the bird, the fish, spouse, renter, roommate, boyfriend, mom and dad, whoever it is, has got to be drop dead gluten-free. You cannot be cooking pancakes for somebody. Well, I don't eat them. I just cook them. No, you can't do that because you're going to get cross-contaminated from the dust to the flour and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Ah, I see you rolling your eyes. So you're cooking for somebody else, aren't you? Aren't you? Yes. I can see it in your eyes. So you can't kick them out of the house. hose them down in the front yard before they come in the house. Don't let them in the house until they strip in the front yard and hose them down. Get all that gluten dust off of them. Okay. You're too important. And so, and then you may want to dose yourself, break your dosage up into 4 quarter doses as opposed to 2 half doses, right? And do little bits, but do it with some food. Don't do it on an empty stomach. Okay. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. I'll try the smaller doses.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Now I'm just taking half of what you told me, but I haven't tried the break it down
Cutting
into
it.
4. Yeah.
4 quarter doses. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also I know that the cross contamination with the gluten, that could be.
It's a big time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Love you, dear. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on, Money. Very
Thank
cool.
you.
So, man,
Yeah,
there's so
move
many
over
people here I love.
007. Yeah, move over 007.
That's right. All right. Who else would like to ask a question? I have so many people here. I love seeing this crowd. Thank you for joining us. If you have a question, make sure you unmute, introduce yourself to Doc, and let us have it. And don't be shy, because we'll call you out.
Hi, it's Dr. Lisa again. But I have a friend online, Irene, and I don't know if she's able to unmute because she's been on and off, but she's
I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
But I don't see her.
Oh my gosh, you really don't want to see me today.
Yes, I do.
She's beautiful.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I learn a lot of information by looking at people I'm talking to. Now, are you coloring your hair? Or is that your normal hair color?
I highlight.
Okay, very good. So yeah, so you do have some whiter gray hair. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs or feet?
Spider veins, yes.
Okay. Here's a personal question. Do you have any hemorrhoids?
No.
Okay, because hemorrhoids are just spider veins and varicose veins in a funny place. Okay. Now, these are all nutritional deficiencies. White, gray, silver hair is not aging. It's a nutritional deficiency, and it's warning you. It's ringing a bell. Okay. Michael Jackson, when he was 12 years old, had snow white hair. He had vitiligo. He lost his skin color when he was 12, 15 years old. The doctors told him it was a genetic thing, and he died at 51 from a ruptured aneurysm because they didn't tell him to take the 90 essential nutrients. Okay. Well, a ruptured aneurysm in your brain and your aorta is the same deficiency as white, gray, and silver hair and spider veins. So you're getting an early red warning light, okay, by having a hair color change. People say, well, you got to expect that, you're 70 years old. You know? So what's your question today?
My question is gallbladder. I have I've taken an x-ray because from a chiropractor that I've been attending, and he says, let's check your neck and your spine. And he's noticed that I have some gallbladder stones there.
Okay. So do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No.
Why are you seeing a chiropractor?
Because I have numbness in my hands sometimes when I sleep. And
okay, what did he tell you that's from? What did he tell you that's from?
My back.
No, if you have numbness in your hands, it's from your skull squeezing your spinal cord.
Okay.
You have osteoporosis of the skull. So as the spinal cord is coming out of the back of your skull, the spinal cord is being squeezed. Now,
yes, it shows there.
Yeah. So do you have? Isn't it funny how I picked that up right away just from symptoms?
You're just too smart for your person.
Now, here's the deal. Do you have any tinnitus or whooshing or ringing in your ears?
I have buzzing like a seashell.
Okay, yeah. And so your skull is squeezing also not only your spinal cord, but the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. Do you ever have any dizziness or balance problems or vertigo when you wake up or get up quick?
No.
Okay, so you have low back stuff.
Yes.
You have peripheral neuropathies in your feet. You have sciatica kind of stuff going on in your feet, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that's going on in your arms and your hands because your skull is squeezing the spinal cord.
Correct.
So you have sciatica in your lower back, and you have what's called Erb's palsy in your arms and hands. Is not the carpal tunnel syndrome, it's your skull squeezing your spinal cord. Okay. So your chiropractor diagnosed it correctly, but he's not telling you the right thing to do because an adjustment will relieve symptoms, which is better than giving a cortisone. So you don't have all the negative effects of cortisone, but you still need the supplements. Okay.
Correct.
So here we go. How much do you weigh?
140.
140. Okay. So I want you to take one healthy brand, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rhinos, no sugar. I want you to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want you to get another bottle of our selenium with 5 cofactors, not selenium from Walgreens, but our selenium with the 5 cofactors. 1 bottle of selenium with our cofactors is in the healthy brain and heart pack. I want you to take 3 twice a day. And within weeks, your hair color is going to start coming back.
No
In weeks,
way.
those spider veins will go away.
No way. Good.
Oh, yeah. And so also it's going to help rebuild the walls of your veins and arteries, your skin, connective tissue, cartilage, disc between your vertebrae. So suddenly now your chiropractor can say, I don't know why, but you only need to come in here like once a month instead of once a week. And what you want to do is elbow him a little bit and say, hey, doc, you want to know what I'm doing so you can help your other patients? No, I don't want to know, is what they always say. They don't want to know. Okay. And so, well, I may want to put on a meeting here and invite all your other patients. And if you let me sponsor you, that'll be another source of income for you, doc. And he'll have to think, or he or she'll have to think about it. Okay.
So is that going to help with my, what could I take or what do I have to do for my gallbladder stones?
Okay. I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. I'm fast.
Okay. So you need the MSM. Okay. 3 of those twice a day. You also need the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. You also need the glucogel. Okay. You could take 3 or 4 of those twice a day. And then for the gallbladder, once you take what we call the gallbladder in a bottle, it's called the Ultimate Enzymes. It has bile in it. We've taken from the gallbladders of cows and steers that go into to be killed and made into steaks. We take their gallbladders and dry the bile and put it into our Ultimate Enzymes. So we call it the gallbladder in a bottle because people who have their gallbladders removed, they have gallstones. Well, guess what? They're not getting the nutrition to make their liver happy. And that's why you need that extra bottle of the selenium to go in with the 1 bottle of selenium that comes in with a healthy brain and heart pack. Your liver will be happy. You're taking the Ultimate Enzymes. You'll be able to absorb the things that the bile is designed to help absorb, to make your cell walls happy, make your brain happy, make your eyes happy. And you're going to be a miracle. Okay. It's going to freak everybody out.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
But please do call us and share your testimony because your story is going to help a lot of middle-aged people. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. You bet. God bless.
Thank you.
What a great question. And I don't know why you were trying to hide your camera. You look so great tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, very pretty.
Dr. Wallach, I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions from our chat. The first one is, how many ORAC points do we need in a day?
How many ORAC points? As many as you can afford. Yeah, I try to get 25,000 ORAC points. And so I take enough supplements. I take, I think, 40 different supplements. I take the dose of a 250 to 300 pound man. I only weigh 142. Okay. And so I'm getting about 50,000 ORAC points a day.
Awesome. That is a ton, right? And how many are in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine? I know it's pretty.
I think it's number, yeah, I think it's something like 10, 12,000.
Amazing. Awesome. So my next one is, this is from the chat. My son is 19 years old. He's 5'10", 150 pounds. He has psoriasis. He's lost 15 pounds recently due to this diagnosis and has cut out basically all foods and is only eating chicken, sweet potatoes, and regular potatoes right now.
Okay, psoriasis. Okay, this is a deficiency disease. It's not an autoimmune disease. His body's not attacking him. It's not pre-lupus or anything like that. The doctors will say cortisone and prednisone will relieve the symptoms, but it'll only get worse. Okay, he weighs 100 and what? You said it.
150. I'm sorry.
150. Okay, so 150. So I want him to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, brown rice, no sugar. And then I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. He needs to get 1 bottle of MSM, so he can take 3 of those twice a day. I want him to use our Rebound, our sports drink with 100 nutrients in it, no colas and no big bottles of apple juice and orange juice and that kind of stuff. If he's drinking beer, it's got to be made from rice. He cannot have the usual Budweiser, made from wheat, brown rice, oats, that kind of stuff. There's Japanese beer, there's Chinese beer, there's beer from let's see here, Australia, New Zealand, and also I think I said most of them where they're made from rice. And so this is very, very important to do, take all those things and stay away from the gluten. He will be a new man in 60 to 90 days, but this is a lifetime deal. because he's going to get better. All these things will go, bad things will go away. But if he goes right back to his old ways, it'll be even worse.
That's incredible. I'll make sure I get this video of you sharing that to the lady here
Okay.
online. So great question. My last question for you from the chat is, what do you see as an ideal calorie intake for women? Or do you think there is an ideal calorie intake?
Well, it depends on their physical activity. And if they're working out in a gym, if they're, working in a slaughterhouse and, killing cows, it depends on what they're doing. Or if they work out, either at home or at a gym or something, or farm or garden or whatever. But usually what they want to do is weigh themselves, 2-3 times a week. And they want to maintain the ideal weight for their height. And there's charts. You can just go on Siri and ask, I want to see a chart, ideal weight for a middle-aged woman. Okay. And Siri will give you that chart. And, weigh 2-3 times a week. And as long as you're not gaining weight, unless you need to gain weight, as long as you're not losing weight, unless you need to lose some weight, but you need to track it as opposed to just say, well, I need to weigh this. And no, you need to monitor yourself, just like you check the oil when you go put gas in your car. You check the air. I find it kind of interesting that people will check the air in their tire. They'll check their oil, but they don't check anything in themselves.
That's a perfect answer. I know there's a website that's really good for that as well. I have one more for you. It just came in. Is eating fruits and vegetables overrated?
No, they can be good. And again, you have to appreciate that back earlier than 1882, we were putting wood ashes in the gardens. So vegetables were our main source of minerals, except for bone broth soup, where people would put bones and water on the stove, wood stove at night, and it'd simmer all night. And people would fight. We would fight over who would get the bone broth soup in the morning because it had the minerals in it. Also, people would put wood ashes into their food as well as into their garden, so that back in the old days, vegetables and fruit were where you got your minerals, along with the bone broth soup. Okay. But today, the only way you're going to get minerals is to supplement with them. Okay. So you must supplement. No other way around it. You must supplement. I think I answered the question.
I think you nailed it. So let's follow up with bone broth. Do you think bone broth is still something that people should be taking in?
Absolutely. If you're eating, roast chicken, don't throw the bones away. Put them in, in a pot of water. Put them on the stove and let them simmer, for a couple of hours while you're watching TV at night, and put that in the refrigerator, and you can have it for breakfast or lunch or dinner the next day. And I like to put lemon juice in my bone broth soup with some of our pink Himalayan salt. Oh my gosh. And of course, the bones become very soft because the minerals come out of the bones, and it's just the connective tissue. And we all fight, and the grandkids, fight over who's going to get, those chewy, bones because they want that collagen. And so, in the old days, those were where people got those nutrients, was by eating the bones and eating the cartilage and eating the ligaments and tendons and skin and stuff. Today we're too perfect. We just have to eat organic oranges.
Which we learned doesn't have that much vitamin C.
That's correct.
Wow. So
you only get one orange is going to give you, I think it's like 8% of your vitamin C requirement.
That's a lot of oranges.
Yep.
So Irene has her hand up. I'm not sure if she has another question or if it's still from earlier. I'm going to give her a second.
Oh, absolutely. I have another question.
Perfect. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. All right. My husband's 78 and he weighs 180 and he's 6 foot and he has Raynaud.
Okay. Is in his fingers?
Yes.
Okay. Now he's also got the same thing going on. He's got osteoporosis of the skull. Does he complain of ringing in his ears and dizziness problems?
Sometimes dizziness lately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, his spinal cord is being squeezed by his skull. And so he needs to take the exact same program you're taking. But he needs double because he's twice your weight.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Raynaud's, you have to appreciate when they diagnosed that 200 years ago, a French guy by the name of Raynaud, he didn't know about osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord, causing that stuff going on in the fingers.
Wow. Okay. So the heart and brain pack, right?
No, it's a healthy brain and heart pack. You have dyslexia.
Yeah, I do really.
Remember, all of this will be recorded and will be on YouTube by the end of the week, so you can go back and check
I
all of these
appreciate
answers.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Yeah, love you guys. Yeah, just double the dose, because he has the same problem you do, because he's eating the same way you do. So the whole household needs to change. And, you can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. You can add 25 to 50 healthy years to his life. Remember, our goal is to be super centenarians. Everybody can do this. It's not a genetic thing. And there's no reason why there's some of us can't live to be 150, 200, 265.
I'm going to be 125 and dancing.
There you go. Save me a dance.
You got it. All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, before we close it out, is there anyone else that would like to jump in? Any other questions we have for Doc while we have him on the line?
I have a friend who's traveling to South America in a couple of weeks. They're on the 90 and they're on the keto program, but I have some ideas about what to have him take, but I wondered, since you are the travel king, what you bolster your daily program with when you go to.
Okay, well, the beautiful thing about this is that 99% of them are powders and capsules and stuff, so it's not like it's heavy liquids, okay? Also, he can take the rebound with him, but take these boxes of these 30 little sticks. Each stick you can put, into a bottle of water and get the 100 nutrients that are in our rebound. And so that's going to really bolster what's going on where he goes. You get 100 nutrients. We also have the capsules of the minerals that have the algae added to them. Okay, and plus we have the Fucoid Z. We have the Ocean's Gold. We have all that stuff. But I like to take the rebound in the sticks. They come 30 in a box, and depending on how long they're going to be there, if they're going to be there for a week, you need to take 2 boxes. If they're going to be there for a month, you need to take 4 boxes of the rebound sticks, and then just throw them in the suitcase loose. If he's going to bring a briefcase with him on the airplane, he can put a handful of them in the briefcase of the airplane. These little individual sticks or packs. It's a great way to get the minerals, but he does need to take the Beyond Osteo. He needs to take the let's see here, the BTT 2.0 sticks. He needs to take the cardio sticks, all that kind of stuff, so he can make his drink. Okay, he needs the EFAs and the EFA pluses, just like usual. And so that's one of the reasons why we had so many of these put into capsule form and powder form, and then the travel stuff, because I was traveling. You're exactly right. So if we were going to make it, I wanted to take it with me. We couldn't make all just heavy bottles of liquids.
I did also suggest to him colloidal silver.
Oh yeah,
the pre-probiotics.
Yeah, well, see, the colloidal silver, he could go ahead and take the colloidal silver with him on the airplane. He can also take the 2-ounce hand sanitizer with him on the airplane. Okay, and they may sniff them or have a dog sniff them or something like that. But this is how if you're going to South America or Mexico, very high rate of these terrible viruses and diseases and everything. So you got to take care of yourself. There's no sense to be healthy and go down there, visit somebody and get sick.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Dr. Singletary. I've always heard your name on Tom's call. I've never got to meet you, so thanks for joining us.
Yes, wonderful.
I have one more question from the chat. Doc, is store-bought bone broth okay, or would you recommend people make it themselves?
I'd recommend people make it themselves, because you don't know what went on, how it was made. Was it made in a factory? Was it made in somebody's kitchen and they gave it to or sold it to the store kind of stuff? I'd be hesitant about bone broth. because you just don't have any analyses, okay? But if you buy the chicken, you cook it yourself, or you buy it pre-roasted, and you just put the, you eat all the meat off the bones and put the bones in some water with some lemon juice, and you simmer it for a couple of hours. You do it yourself with the pink Himalayan salt. It doesn't get any better than that. It's not a lot of work. You're gonna eat the meat off the bone anyway.
That sounds good. I'm gonna have to go get myself a rotisserie chicken for this week.
There you go.
Well, very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for joining us tonight. I'll be giving you a call to let you know how everything went and all of that.
Yeah,
Talk
we'd
to you
like
for
to know
next
how many
week.
people were on. Yeah, exactly. We're on for next week. And again, don't forget 90, right? What is it? 90 essential nutrients. Also, you want to be part of the super centenarians, right? 110 years plus. Everybody can do it. It's not a genetic thing. It's not an aging thing. It's all nutrition.
God bless,
Thank you,
Dr. Wallach.
Travis. God
We'll
bless
see
you,
everyone
sir.
next week. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
and if
Travis. Thank you, Doc.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
If
Blessings.
you asked a question, I'll have the recording up by the end of this week, so you guys can go on there. I do the YouTube videos with timestamps so that you can go straight to your question and find your answer, take your notes, whatever it is that you need to do. If you guys want my cell phone number, you can text me if you want to write it down. It's 210-852-1352. So if you want to text me with your name, I'll make sure I text you that link for the YouTube video when it is up and ready. But thank you all for joining us tonight. I appreciate all of you joining us. And we do this every single Tuesday. So if there's anyone that has any questions or you think could be helped by talking to Doc, feel free to invite them. The link is always the same and you guys are always, always welcome. So have a good night.
Okay, good night.